I didn't want to go into a program and then have my whole business reworked into something. You guys listen to me, how I ran things, what I'm doing. So you guys don't copy and paste systems over. And then working with you guys through over the past year and a half, I more than tripled what we did in that. But aside from business, I definitely feel a whole lot better. I'm a different person than I was then to now. So it's been a crazy transformation top to bottom.
Hunter, thanks so much for joining me on the call. My first question is, tell us the name of your business, what you guys do, and where did you first find either me or Scaling with Systems?
So what our business is, we have Zara's Media, we also have Motive. Both are agencies. We're actually evolving agencies here, so that's why I had different couple of different names there. But we help our detail shop scale and grow. It's very niche down, very specific. I ran my own detail shop for I think 5, 6, 7 years around there, and now I'll help other shop owners scale and grow.
Very, very cool. And where did you first find me or Scaling with Systems?
It was actually with Joe. I was really good friends with him, and he joined you guys, and he just kept raving. He's like, dude, these people are awesome. You have to, at least peer in and see what we're doing here because he's learned so much. And for me personally, like, I had never joined a program before. I was always against them prior to everything. I'm not joining a program. Like, that's not for me. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, no, come on. Well, you have so much stuff that you can help your business with. Just, at least hop on a call and kind of hear us out on some things. Said, sure, I definitely will. And here I am, like a year and a half later.
Wow, I actually didn't know that. That's funny. And for those of you that don't have context, Joe's one of our client success managers at the company here. And I love when our clients, our team members bring people into the company. That just means that they're obviously bought into the product as well, especially close friends like you. And man, I'd say Joe probably did you a little bit of a favor based on like some of the results I've seen inside of here, some of the growth that you have. I kind of want to talk about some of the biggest highlights that you've had working with us. I know we just spoke a moment ago that you're in the talks of a merger right now, which is just, I mean, you don't hear a lot of agencies in our space doing that. So that's epic. Congratulations. And I'm just going to read like a few of these right here that you have. Sign another client on our top package, brings us to $54,000 MRR, tripled my profits since I started working with Scaling Initiative. While running my business more efficiently with the systems. Then the next one here says we did 53,000 in April. The next one says we did 70,000 in whatever this is. It says for the play this month. And then the one after that says 82,000. So, I mean, it's actually, if you look at our wins channel, it's like, and you type in your name, it's like you can see the progress of you like this month is this record, this month is this record. So what would you say, and I want to talk about client success because I know that was one of the first things we did, but what would you say is like one or two big like highlights, maybe it's gonna be the title of this video, that we have done since we started working together?
Yeah, I think it's essentially evolving not just a business, but myself to make the decisions I need to and be able to run the business I have. Because obviously, from a revenue standpoint, I came in about like 30K ish around there. Buy was my biggest limiting factor. I had the leads coming in there, but I was doing so much self-sabotaging because like I couldn't handle the lead flow. My fulfillment was capped off. I couldn't spend the time with clients that I had. And then working with you guys through over the past year and a half, I more than tripled what we did in that. But again, from business, aside from business, I definitely feel a whole lot better. I'm a different person than I was then to now. So it's been a crazy transformation top to bottom.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. Like, obviously, we love scaling businesses and growing them and making them more money and running ads and all that. But I still remember our original onboarding call and people that have been watching these case study videos that we've had. It's like, I've been doing marketing and ads for 4 years. That's the main thing we help with our clients. But I actually get the most jazzed up when you have an amazing offer. They literally have no problem with marketing and ads. And it's like their biggest problem is fulfillment. And I think I remember on an onboarding call, we spent the entire fulfillment process, just like, or the onboarding call, just optimizing your fulfillment process. Is that what we did?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we did. It's been a while, so my memory's kind of lost that one, but exactly it, And that was my biggest thing too. It's like I didn't want to join, like, oh, I don't need help with marketing. I don't need to join. It's like, no, it's more than that. Like you guys literally helped out everything top to bottom, and I'm happy for how all worked out.
Yeah. For people that are listening to this a little bit, let's kind of talk about the fulfillment, right? Because, I don't think we get to talk about that enough. And it's not something we really market or advertise too much about how we can kind of streamline it because you're probably in the smaller group of clients that we work with where it's like, obviously you guys deliver amazing results for your clients. You guys had marketing down pretty well, but it was literally like you said, first of all, it was personal self-sabotage, which is awesome that you recognize that. And then second of all, it was like operations and fulfillment. So on the fulfillment side, like walk us through a little bit of like, what was it previously like before you had worked with us as far as like trying to fulfill clients? What did the process look like? What was the experience for you as the owner? And then like where are you guys at now as far as what that looks like?
It was a bit of a mess beforehand because I'm gonna be made fun of. I know Joe still bullies me for this, but I had everything on pen and paper. I had all my clients listed out, separate pieces of paper written out in terms of ad spend, what they're doing, locations, everything like that. And I definitely used some kind of, I don't say CRM, but it would just I would touch on it maybe once a month, make myself feel good that I'm using a CRM, but I'm actually not. So it was actually getting everyone equipped into a really, really nice system that we have in there. And going off that too, it's the onboarding process that our clients go through now. If they want to sign on board, everything is automated. Beforehand, I had to do everything manually. And that was part of the self-sabotaging was like, well, I don't want to onboard more people because that whole onboard process used to take me days. And now it's done in 2 minutes. And all I have to do is just hop on a call and chat with the person one on one. So, send the contract out, paid, it triggers the next thing. They onboard, they fill a little intake form, they book a call on a calendar, and that's it. It takes 1 minute for me to initially hit that send button, and that's it. So that was the biggest thing, really. And then come down to client success, the management, that's all streamlined now. We have feedback forms going out. We have a lot of automated reminders from everything in Slack, Zapier, Messenger, you name it.
Wow. You kind of just brushed on, I think, two things that it's like, I kind of want to go a little bit deeper on. So the fact that we were able to triple your business together is like unbelievable. But it's funny when you say that, like, you almost didn't want self-sabotage to sign new clients because you knew how much work it was going to be. And now you just click a button. I guess on the client side, have you noticed anything as far as like because it's cool because you're in like a retention business, right? Because you're an agency. So like, are you noticing clients getting results faster? Are they renewing more? Do you have lower churn? Like, how has this also impacted like your MRR side of things? Because when we say you tripled your MRR, is that just because you're acquiring new clients at scale, or is it because a lot of your current clients are staying, they're buying more, a combination of both? What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, as a retainer business, we obviously want to limit churn as much as possible. So we definitely noticed a big drop in churn. Not that we churned out a lot at all, but it went from a very small percentage to an even smaller percentage in churn in that regard. A lot of that was because the process was a whole lot easier when it felt like I was pulling teeth before to get them on onboarding process. It's streamlined through that. And the same thing too, client results are definitely a whole lot better, not just because of the systems that we have in place that you guys built for us, but also it frees up my time to spend more time with them and push the needle forward for those guys too, and also our business as well across the board. So it's a matter of making their lives easier and making my life easier on my end too. So it frees me up to do what I need to.
And have you made any like on the operations side, or were there any changes that we worked on the operations side to like free up and give you more time, or is it mostly just focused on client success and marketing?
There's a little bit on the operations side when it comes to me chatting with the leads themselves that are coming in there. So when it comes to, I guess it's still part of the fulfillment when I'm trying to, work leads itself. A lot of that is
So
systemized
you're
now
talking
too.
about leads for your clients, just for context here.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So in those regards too, because of course we use high level, have all built out. But now like I use what I learned and then we implement it for our own clients too, for when they're chatting with people too. So it's a kind of a drip there where if I am, learning things, I'm teaching these things to my clients and they're having more success themselves.
Yeah, that's and your clients are car detailers, and you kind of mentioned in the beginning, but I think it's an interesting story, right? It's very rare, I think, in our world where it's like you had the person that was running the business and now they are an agency for those people. Like most people like me, I ran an advertising agency for real estate. I was never a real estate agent at all. I just, bought an SMMA course online and was like, oh, that seems like a good market to do it. Like, how did you when you first pivoted into the agency world, like, is it because what you were doing originally was working so well, and that was like you started doing that for other people? How did that work?
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird journey how I got there. I had my detail shop, and then I also went through college for a marketing. Not that has anything to do with what I'm doing now, but I had a background to lean on. And I don't know how I got into actually start offering marketing for other people, but the backstory was, we were doing marketing for our own shop, and then I had someone else reach out, say, "Hey, can you do it for us?" So like, yeah, no problem. And then from there on out, an agency was born. I removed myself from the detail shop, and now I'm full time with the agency on those regards. So it's really cool to put that kind of experience into play and helping other people grow and have success in their own businesses. And, not just that too, but also coaching them on a lot of the hurdles we have mentally as humans too. That was a big thing for me too.
Yeah, I can respect that and also understand where you're coming from with that. As far as like in your personal life, just like outside of business, we've kind of touched on it a little bit, but how has, working with us, how has that also changed in your personal life, whether it's time back, confidence, you kind of mentioned like some of the mindset stuff. Like what would you say are some of the things that outside of business you've seen success in or at least some progress in?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely confidence for one. To be able to deliver on a product and be able to talk with people or potential leads and confident leads myself and confidence in what we do because I know that we have everything we can to make them as successful as possible. And then outside of that too, it's also just overall my mental well-being is a lot better because where I was with before scaling with systems, like I never had someone or had a people to lean back on if I was feeling a certain way or how to deal with certain situations. So a lot of times what I do with Joe is he'll get a lot of my voice memos or things. How do I deal with this issue? How do I deal with this kind of issue? Because of course in business, there's a lot of ups and downs. A lot of times, sometimes I can struggle with if something doesn't go right or if I have an issue pop up, I have you guys almost acting like a therapist for me and walking me through these things. And it's awesome too, because you guys equip me to next time that problem arises, I can now deal with that on my own. And that's like, again, the biggest change I've had personally. So that, I don't want to have repeated action or repeat or a pattern there, or something keeps popping up. I want to be able to deal with it myself. So through the whole
Yeah.
entire thing, it's been great that way.
I think I'm gonna have to add that to our sales page. It's like we're also pocket therapists for people as well. So that's I'll
I'll be
tell
comfortable
Joe I
calling you
said
guys
that.
that for sure.
That's so funny. And also, man, it's so cool for someone to also admit that, right? It's like, the people that are like, oh, like you had said, who you were even before this. Oh, I don't need help with this. I don't need help with that, right? I think I won't get too much into it, but I used to be like that as well. Like you have to almost subvert your ego to come out and say, like, I need help. But then the beautiful thing about that is like you subvert your ego, you say, okay, I need help scaling my business. That person helps you or you get help. And then now it opens that up to now it's like, okay, now I feel comfortable asking multiple questions. And like now, whenever I need help, I don't even, my ego, like screw that. I'm just going to go straight and ask somebody for help. And obviously, we've loved working with you along those lines. We talked about this before we started. Joe had like updated me a little bit, but talk to me a little bit about this merger that you got going on. That's huge in our industry. So like, you're about to corner this entire market. So like, how did that happen? Did they reach out to you? What is that process? I know you can't share probably everything, but as much as you can share, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, so over the course past couple of years, especially again working with you guys, but we definitely became super well known in our industry, and we have a very, very large market share in what we do. Yeah, we do have competitors and stuff like that, but we own a lot of that market share. And became good friends with another agency owner who is a very like-minded person who's into everything that we are as well, shares the same mindset, shares the same vision that we do. So we kept chatting, became friends, and then they pretty much owned what we did in terms of the market share. So we're chatting a little bit, and then now we decided to merge together as one big team. So this is what we're kind of working on now is merging our teams together, see where we need to cut out fat, getting the SOPs in place. So you guys have been working with us, and we've been keeping you busy trying to help out with getting those stuff together because it's not easy merging two teams together. Not that I had a big team myself, but the guys we're merging with have a really much larger team than we do. But we definitely be keeping you guys busy, making sure that everything is well oiled and kind of shining a flashlight in every single corner, making sure we have all our bases covered before we progress forward.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, you don't necessarily have a big team, but you technically do have us as your team in the back pocket too. But that's so cool. I don't hear a lot of people doing that. And yeah, I mean, it is such a niche offer, like in such a niche to go after. You're the first client I've ever heard ever do that. And like and you just I remember saying it on our onboarding call, but it's almost like candy from a baby in the sense that you also used to be one as well. So it's like you're just like, it's like the doctor who's coaching doctors and you're like, look, I know how it is. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's obviously part of your guys' success.
Yeah, it definitely helps a lot too because I can go back because like there's always like the agency owner and then there's like the detail shop owner, right? I can lean back knowing experience and it feels like I'm on their teams like, hey, I know how it can be with X, Y, and Z. I was in your shoes before like actually being there. So that makes the process a whole lot better and you can relate to your clients a whole lot better as well. And that really helped out with our reputation as well within the industry. So it's been really great to lean on and share my experience as well. And I've built publicly too through my whole process. So people can literally go on my profile and see where I started at and see where I am now. Like I will share everything I have. So it builds a lot of great trust with everybody.
Yeah, that's incredible. In marketing, it's like called throwing stones or us versus them. But yeah, you're just able to be like, by saying like, oh yeah, those agencies over there, they do all these things, and now all of a sudden you're not an agency, you're one of them, right? And so now they're just talking to one of them, which you've obviously mastered so well. Which that's when I first started. Most of our clients were agencies. We've obviously scaled to coaches, consultants, course creators, and agencies. But when we started there, and so it was just so nice to be able to be like, yeah, I know the pain points you're going through now. I know what you're experiencing. And yeah, I'd say most great businesses are somebody who was experiencing something, they solved that problem, and then a lot of people don't know this, but Slack was originally a video game company. They were trying to build this video game, and then like they were trying to communicate because everybody was like international. So they created this thing called Slack, and it wasn't called Slack, but it was this communication
Right.
tool. And then over time, the video game company kind of failed, but everyone was like, "Whoa, that communication, that's kind of cool." Like, and that's how Slack was created. So I think, yeah, I think some of the best companies are built that way. I want to pivot, ask one or two more questions here. Like right now, where you're at in your business, obviously you guys are going through the merger, and I'm super grateful that we're able to help you along that. What do you think is keeping you like from doubling the business today? Like what are your current, I know your bottlenecks, it's not like bottlenecks or problems ever go away, right? You just get better
Right.
problems as you scale. So what would you say is like one of your two like biggest bottlenecks that you're having right now?
It's probably speed to implementation with everything, but that's why one of the reasons why we're merging with this agency because they have a much larger team to do everything. So a lot of times I was find myself stuck, building some ads, building some landing pages. Yeah, I did. The guys, I have a media buyer in place. I'm getting him trained up. I'm building SOPs for him with everything, but I still find myself in some little day-to-day tasks. So having this bigger team behind me is going to free me up to be able to, if someone has a question or anything like that, I can get to them much faster, right? I can actually spend one-on-one time with them doing those things. So it's just those at the moment, taking myself out of more day-to-day actions. That's our biggest bottleneck. And then once we have everyone merged together, it's just going to be, pouring on marketing. You guys built some really winning ads. I still have one I haven't touched in past 30 days because it's been like booking calls on my calendar nonstop and I haven't touched it. It's like $10 leads too, which has been
Oh my
phenomenal.
God.
But
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
after
I think that's common too to have like an operational, like that sounds like operations really. Like that's what if
yeah.
you to kind of boil it down, it's on the and like what a great spot to be in where you're just trying to buy back your time. Like most people are just like flailing their arms around a little bit, but it sounds like you're just like trying to systematically get your time back.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, with the systems you guys built, I took me out a lot of things. Again, we talked about the filming, onboarding, things of that nature. But yeah, but once we have this merger going, it's gonna be just a matter of, getting more leads in the door and scaling going that way because we'll have the capacity to grow to multiple six figures a month and beyond at that point. So super excited where we're at in a couple months.
Yeah. Well, we're grateful to be along the journey with you and that you keep on working with us. So, thank you for that. Final question I always ask everybody on here is, let's say someone's watching this video right now. It's from an ad. They see me on YouTube. They followed me for a while. They just haven't pulled the trigger yet because of whatever reason, all the limiting beliefs, maybe some of the ones that you had in your mind that you were talking about at the beginning of this. What would you say to them if you had an opportunity to talk with them?
Yeah, just hop on a call because again, I mentioned before that they can shine a flashlight in corners that you may not see. For me, it was adapting to my business and how I ran things. I didn't want to go into a program and then have my whole business reworked into something that they've done. Like you guys listen to me, how I ran things, what I'm doing, and adapted strategies that would work for me. So you guys don't copy and paste systems over. You guys see, okay, what is your current bottleneck? This is how we solve it in that way. Okay, what's next from there? And going from that way. So it's so customized to you. It is like mental well-being with therapist stuff for me a lot of times, but also a lot of the systems you guys built for me and my business itself. It's nothing copy and pasted over. It's all truly, hey, what is your biggest problem? Let's dive into this.
Wow. Thank you for saying that. That's exactly what we want to do for our clients. So the fact that you're experiencing that is makes me happy. Just people watching this right now, they love your energy. They love the success you've had. You said you've kind of built in public as well. You've documented everything from A to Z on your IG. What are a few places that if people want to either work with you or just learn a little bit more about you and what you do, where can they find you?
Yeah, 99% of our content is posted on my personal Facebook page, Hunter Zarzicki, right there on Facebook. We are starting to expand out into other platforms, but that's where you can find everything we ever done.
Awesome. I'll put your name in the description down below so you guys can check it out. Hunter, it was a pleasure, man. Thanks for so much for hopping on the call with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Cheers.
Hey guys, for the first time ever, we just released an insane training bundle that has literally everything that I've learned going from $0 to $25 million online, plus $20,000 worth of free gifts that we're throwing in it, all for an insanely low price. If you want to get your hands on it, be sure to click the first link in the description down below now.